guys, and welcome back to LOI TV. Now today it is episode 6 of the LOI transfer show. Now that the season has come to an end, we know who will be competing in the Premier Division and the First Division for next season. Obviously Finn Harps maintaining their Premier Division status. They will have a lot of work to do over the next few months to build a side capable of staying in the division for next season, because I feel like next season in the Premier Division it is going to be a lot more competitive. Now obviously with the season just being over, we're kind of mainly hearing rumours, but there also have been some transfers completed, and we are going to be looking at some of the main transfers and rumours that have been going on and circulating around the League of Ireland in the last few days. Now in terms of this show, the LOI transfer show, if you want to see this on a weekly basis, let us know in the comments below. We might try to get guests on sometimes to talk about different deals and rumours going on. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let's jump right into it. Now probably the biggest deal that's gone through so far is of course former Cork City striker Sheppard signing for Dublin side and newly promoted team Shelbourne, his schoolboy club, which is I think it's a really good piece of business from Shells. There was a lot of interest reportedly from teams like St. Pat's and stuff like that, so it's a real statement from intention from Shells to be able to really sign a player of that calibre and that status. There is a lot of doubters out there of Sheppard's ability, especially in the last couple of seasons. He's been a bit off the pace. I think a fresh move and a fresh start is exactly what he needed to rejuvenate his career. He is only kind of entering his prime kind of years. He's only 28, I think it is. So if he can rediscover that brilliant form he had at one stage for Cork with Shells in a front three, that looks quite exciting for next season, of Sheppard himself, Kieran Kilduff and Jazzy Cavia. That front three could be work really well together. Sheppard more off to the left, that's where he would play. So yeah, I'm excited to see how Shells will line up next season. And Sheppard is of course a huge upgrade on the likes of James English, who has left Shells. He has moved to Longford Town. He's a good First Division player and he'll do well at Longford in their bid for promotion next season. But for the Premier Division, what Shells are looking to achieve, Sheppard is definitely a well needed upgrade in that area of the pitch. They are also the favourites to be signing Cork City midfielder Conor McCormack. That would really bolster their midfield options. He'd bring a lot of experience. He's always been a top performer. He wasn't great of course last season, but for Shelbourne in that midfield he could be a really shrewd signing. And these two lads from Cork coming to Shells now, I think they'd both be really good signings for the newly promoted club. Now there's some absolutely fascinating stuff going down at St. Patrick's Athletic in Inchicore. New manager Stephen O'Donnell is overlooking a major overhaul of the whole club. I think he's getting rid of up to 10 players. Saw an article today, the 10 players include Mikey Drennan, Glenn McCauley, Simon Madden, Rhys McCabe, James Duna, Gary Shaw, Conor Clifford, Kieran Kelly, Kevin Toner, Brendan Clark. That's so many players. That's a whole squad nearly gone. So there's a lot of work to be done at St. Pat's over the summer. The likes of a Rhys McCabe, Brendan Clark, a lot of those, Kevin Toner as well, Conor Clifford, I find it quite interesting that they are getting rid of them. It is an interesting tactic to get rid of so many players at once. It's a big statement from Stephen O'Donnell. Of course he'll be confident of his Dundalk links with bringing the likes. Apparently he's looking to bring in Robbie Benson, which would be obviously a great signing, and captain Brian Gartland. That being also a brilliant signing for St. Patrick's Athletic if they can get those two over the line. But I'm still shocked that they're getting rid of so many. Even the likes of Glenn McCauley, young promising forward, he mustn't rate them at all. Like that many players, he must be really looking to freshen things up. So St. Pat's fans, if you're watching, let me know in the comments below what you make of all this news of Stephen O'Donnell getting rid of so many players. Is this what the club needs, or is he taking it a little bit too far? Another club doing a lot of business so far is Bohemians. Now their left back situation has been a big talking point recently. Leahy is being linked with a move to champions Dundalk. That would be a good signing for Dundalk, of course. He'd be competing with Dane Massey for a starting spot, so there'd be a lot of competition in that area of the pitch, but it would be a good move for him. They are talking about I think Paddy Kirk is leaving the club as well, so that leaves him light in the left back area. And apparently Anto Breslin from Longford is in the picture to be signing for Bohemians. He made it into the First Division team of the season last year, so that would obviously be a good signing because it's an area they need to, of course, get players in if those two are to leave. Other areas they're looking at, Dan Casey, I've heard his name being thrown around. Obviously spent last season with Cork, but the year and a half before that he was with Bohemians. He's a bit of a fan favourite there, so they would definitely welcome him back with open arms. He is under contract at Cork City for next season. His transfer to Bohemians would demand a fee. I'm not quite sure if they should be spending money in that area, considering they are quite strong with Rob Cornwall and James Finnerty. Dan Casey might not make it into the team that starting 11, so maybe that's not the area that they should be looking to spend a lot of money on. A couple of midfielders looking to bring back to the club, JJ Lunny and Dylan Watts, are both being linked with Bohemians. Dylan Watts kind of fallen out of favour at Shamrock Rovers, isn't making it into the starting 11, and JJ Lunny obviously had not the best of seasons with Waterford last year, as they finished in the bottom half of the table. Looking to bolster their options for the European campaigns and to compete in the Cup and League again next season. So yeah, Bohemians looking to get a lot of work done. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep hold of the likes of Daniel Mandrew, Danny Grant, James Talbot, players who were really impressive last season. If they can keep hold of those players and add to that squad, who knows what they can achieve next year. Obviously, as I mentioned there, Dylan Watts leaving Shamrock Rovers. There's other players that are rumoured to be leaving the club as well, including the best player from last season and Irish international Jack Byrne, who has a lot of rumoured interest from the Championship and League One. One of those sides include Leeds United, who are going to be challenging for promotion next season. Be very interesting to see if they come in with realistic bids. Probably be happening in the January time. Another one is Greg Bolger, apparently on his way back to Cork City. That's a rumour doing the rounds on Twitter at the moment as well, so it'll be interesting to see if Shamrock Rovers can let 3 midfielders leave. They definitely need to upgrade that area. If so, one of the best signings of the whole transfer window, I would say, if it goes through, would be Greg Sloggett from Derry City to Dundalk. He's been outstanding for Derry City this season. I've been really impressed with him. The former UCD man, he's still a young player and would definitely put a lot of competition in with Chris Shields in that number 6 position. You could see in the cup final that there was a Chris Shields sized hole in Dundalk's midfield, and that could have been a game changer. I think if Dundalk had had him available, they could have gone on to win that game. I genuinely think Chris Shields is that good. To have an extra man in that kind of number 6 area is crucial for competing in the league, the cup, the European footballs. If Dundalk want to go far in Europe, in whether it be the Champions League or the Europa League, having someone like Greg Sloggett in there for squad rotation is crucial, and he'd be a quality signing in my opinion. Now looking at a team like Derry, they will be losing David Parkhouse and Junior, who they had both on loan this season, so they definitely need to bolster their attacking options for next season. They obviously will have a Europa League place, and if they want to keep competing in the top half of the table with all the other sides strengthening around them, they need to bring in players at the top end of the pitch. As well as that, obviously, as I mentioned, Greg Sloggett leaving, that'll be a huge loss as well. So Derry City will need to get busy in this transfer window to really keep them in that top half of the table next year if they want to fight for Europe once again. So yeah, it's been a fascinating first week or so, considering all the transfer activity. It's always a really exciting time as a League of Ireland fan because there's so much going on, so many players out of contract, so many players coming in and out of your club, so it's a really exciting time. So yeah, there's just so much going on at the moment. If I failed to mention anything that you have heard, please let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the idea of making this a weekly show? Let me know in the comments below potential guests you want to have on the show as well. And what do you guys think of your club's activities so far in this window, or rumoured activity? Let me know who you guys want in and out in terms of transfers. Please make sure to like the video, share, and most importantly subscribe.